Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of July 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we first have the waxing crescent moon, which is a time of heightened senses when we're just starting to plan and work on those things that we've started with the new moon. We then have our first little interrupter, which is the first quarter moon. That comes in on the 22nd, 23rd, depending on where you are. And it might just be a couple of hours. It's not like it's almost like the full moon, but the full moon energy lasts for a few days, before and after that full moon. This is just a few hours, but you might feel those same feelings as the new moon. Like you feel impulsive, impatient, your mind's active. It's like hard to settle down and buckle down and do anything. So you either want to work through those and push through, or it's just a time for us to learn how to control and dominate those impulses. It's like that first little taste of a distractor. We then have the waxing gibbous for the rest of the week. So as that moon gets bigger, we were having a deeper understanding of the things that we're working on. And we're actually, starting to use our intuition and our introspection as we get those things accomplished. And we show that we can be flexible and make adjustments. So keep all of those moon energies in mind. It's a lot as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Cancer. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is it's time to release negativity. Okay, let's see what the Cancer Collective has going on that we need to release negativity about. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder for you this week is that you keep a spiritual journal. So oftentimes when you're learning things in the spiritual realm, writing them down is just a good idea so that you can remember and kind of track things. And this could be dreams that you're having. It could be synchronicities, maybe animals that you're encountering. I do that a lot. Maybe numbers, like repeating number patterns. Like when did you first start seeing a certain, a lot of people start with 1111. And do you remember when you first started seeing that? Because I certainly don't. I mean, I feel like it was back in the early 2000s for the number synchronicities to start happening. And that's been interesting to see that change over time. And I wish now I had been taking or keeping track of that, because I don't remember. It was much later when I started keeping a spiritual journal. So try to work on that. Keep a spiritual journal. It's just nice to have it handy as a reminder of when you're learning things, what things maybe you started to implement, or sometimes we learn something and we forget to implement it. So having it in your journal will definitely be helpful. So, all right, let's get into this reading. We've got Cancer July 19th through the 25th. It's time to release negativity. Your present energy right now is the Five of Cups. So there is something negative going on with you. There's something that you're feeling some grief about, something that you're feeling some sadness about. And maybe it's just time, sometimes before you release something like that, you do just need to take the time to really feel it. So give yourself that time, really feel whatever this is going on for you that's sad. This could be a loss. This could be, just something that you're having to push through some kind of energy there, but go ahead and feel it so that you can release it afterwards. Your current situation is the Queen of Wands. So whatever this feeling is, you're definitely very passionate about whatever it is that you're grieving, whatever the loss is. And it could be, this combination could come up, of course it could be an actual loss where you're grieving, the death of someone around you. It could be that, but it could just be the loss of, maybe there was something you were really passionate about and you just kind of lost the passion for it. You've kind of just lost the ugh, and so, and you're kind of grieving it. It's like, oh, I really used to like to do whatever. And I mean, even like even if it's something physical, like for some reason skiing came to mind. I've never been a skier, but imagine that you're very passionate about skiing and you hurt your knee and it's not something you can do anymore. It's just something you're physically not able to do. So of course you have to grieve that loss, but it seems like you're grieving something that you were very passionate about. At the root of your situation, Four of Pentacles. So while you're grieving this loss, you're also just very stable, and that's okay. You've got that stability to fall back on. And this is stable just kind of in your financial and material world. You've got kind of things are together there. And it's almost like sometimes when things are together in one part of your life, another part of your life just seems like it's falling apart, right? You're like, can I ever just get it all together at once? Occasionally you can, but we're always learning, right? So, rely on that stability to get you through this time when you're letting go of something. In your recent past here is the 7 of Pentacles. So, recent past is about planting some seeds that you've kind of been waiting to come to harvest. Um, and I've seen this card. I know it's Pentacles, but a lot of times I see cards in different ways. This could be about seeds that you've planted with people in the past, just time, energy, that sort of things. It doesn't always have to be literally money or material, and that's in your recent past. And so, and almost like I'm seeing that, rely on those people that you've been there for. You may need to go seek out those people, whoever they are, those seeds that you've planted in the past, when you know that, oh, I was there for so and so when they went through this thing, maybe they could be there for me. And that's when you reach out to those people. Hey, can we get a cup of coffee? Can we hang out and talk, whatever? So remember those seeds that you've planted when it comes to other people. If you just need some people around you in this time, just to talk to, sometimes just talking things out can help you get through them after you're feeling them, right? And we're trying to release this negativity. So whatever it is, we're trying to get rid of it. You need to dispel it in whatever ways happen for you. Sometimes that is just talking to a friend, right? What's on your mind this week is hard work here. So it's almost like back to work, you but also I'm going to put this camera down there a little so you can see that. This card to me also is about being in the moment, and it is a way to release negativity. Being in the moment where you're working on something and you're working so hard that the world around you melts, being in the zone, because it's just a way to kind of just reset. For me, this would probably be music that I would sit down at my piano and play when I'm feeling stressed or feeling like I need to release some negativity. I'll release that through some kind of creativity, whether it's music. For me also, I like to do like crafty things and paint things and that sort of thing. It puts me right in the moment where I'm not thinking about past, present, future. I'm just right there with the thing that I'm creating. So, that's something that's maybe on your mind to do as you're trying to release negativity, is you do it with putting, that creative energy to work. What is just ahead of you this week? Queen of Pentacles. So very stable, but also the Queen of Pentacles is, the female side of the suit, the female side of understanding work, understanding, the value of work, and not just in the monetary sense, but what it does for your whole being. But it's that female, that feminine understanding, more patient. I'm just trying to think. This is, the Queen of Pentacles isn't just about the bottom line in the bank account. It's about, oh, look what I learned. Look what, y- look how empowered I feel that I can do this thing. Um, I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for here. It's about, kind of a motivation about like your personal worth, that it's not just about the bottom line or the bank account, that there's more into putting time into that kind of work. Like I said, creativity, that sort of thing that gets you to a place of wealth that isn't monetary. I hope that makes sense, because someone did need to hear that. So you're embodying that Queen of Pentacles energy this week. What is in your advice position here is the Ace of Wands. So maybe there's a new passion. If you're having to let go of an old one, and I know, like I use the skiing thing, if there's something physical that you're very passionate about and you have an injury, you can't do that thing anymore. And that's hard. That's really hard. You have to grieve that and let go of it. So now it's time to seek out the other thing. So what is that for you? And maybe start seeking that out. And that's in your advice position, is what is a new passion? What's something that you can fill that hole with? So try to seek that out this week and see if you can't find something that kind of lifts your spirits. It's also fun to do, right? What's beyond your control this week? is the Queen of Swords. So besides being the queen of, look at all the queens on the table here. Queen of Wands, which is, understanding passion. Queen of Pentacles, understanding the value of the material world around us. This is Queen of Swords, understanding the value of the words that we choose and the things that we say, and understanding that logic and intellect definitely plays a part in things. And sometimes you just have to say the thing that's on your mind and say it very clearly, so that it's heard. So make sure that that's beyond your control. Make sure that you do say the things that are coming to your mind this week. Just get it out there. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Hanged Man. So this is about having a new perspective and looking at things from a whole new way. Like I said, if you can't do one passion, it's time to maybe replace it and seek out the other. And that's definitely a new perspective. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was going to take up let's see, hot air ballooning this week, but here I am. That would be, I mean, that's pretty extreme. That's a pretty big new perspective, but that's the kind of thing I mean. Like, you went from skiing to hot air ballooning. That's your new passion. Wow, that's a new perspective. Really, you're looking at things now from the sky. So it doesn't have to be that extreme, but definitely, are you trying to avoid having a new perspective, or is it your secret desire to, like, hey, I want to work through these feelings, of, I want to release this negativity and move into something else that kind of lights a fire under me and makes me excited. So ask yourself that question this week. It's an important one. In your outcome position is the King of Wands. So look at you. you know this this to me is about kind of losing passion for something and then refinding that passion, where the King of Wands is now excited to learn about hot air ballooning. In this case, I'm using that as an example, but is excited to learn every aspect. How do I do this? Where can I go? What can I do? Where's the, all the ins and outs of a thing that you might take up as a passion. So think about that this week. If there's something that you're having to let go, let go and then look for the new thing. That's what, we're all doing that. There's some things that we all do for a while, or you just kind of, again, if you're kind of losing the passion for it, it's like, oh, that used to be fun. I'm just not having as much fun with it anymore. Then you find the new thing. And that's where you make new friends and have, excuse me, just new things going on in your life. Let me grab a drink here. Um, yeah, so let's do that. What's hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck, Cancer? Two of Wands. Lots of wands. Look at all the wands. Wands here. Wands and Pentacles. So this is about, I would almost say that it is, we've got one sword here, which is about air energy, and then only the one cup's underneath there. This isn't so much about emotion and intellect as it is about feeling and about manipulating things in the material. I don't know what your passion is, but it does seem to be something that is kind of in the material world, but you're very passionate about it. So, I mean, and that could be, if you're some sort of physical artist like me, I even like pottery came to mind, that you've done pottery for years and years and years, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it anymore. And so you find some other way to manipulate the material. Maybe it's not clay, maybe you just move to another medium. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting here, is that it's something material, but you're very passionate about it. But again, you're going to have to seek out the new thing and what makes you feel that passion again. All right, let's get to a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Cancer as they work through kind of, like losing your mojo and trying to get it back. We've all been there, Cancer. All right, final message, wake up call. This is a wake up call for you. Plain and simple. That's all. There's really no explanation there. This is a wake up call. You're having these feelings for a reason, and it's fine. It's just leading you down the next path. What is the next road for you? All right, what do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Cancer this week. Self-care for Cancer, and the card that you get is called Self-Worth, and there's a cake here that says self-love on it. Why settle for crumbs when you deserve a whole meal? So this is a wake-up call for you. It's time to release the negativity. Whatever you've lost that passion for, go seek out the new passion. That's really all you can do, is get out there and do it, find it. You're not really thinking about the future too much here, but you're just kind of in the moment. Like, how do I how do I get that back in my life? How do I get that passion back into my life? So answer that question and you'll be off and on your way and running. So Cancer, thank you so much for being here. I hope there's something in this reading that you can use in a positive way in your life this week. Of course, drop me a comment down below if anything resonated or if you have questions. I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is so helpful. Thank you in advance for doing that. I do appreciate that. Good luck with this. I will see you next week. Bye bye.